Massive crowds took to the streets of Serbia's capital, Belgrade, on Saturday, June 28, as tens of thousands of students and anti-corruption demonstrators rallied to demand the resignation of President Aleksandar Vučić and the immediate calling of snap parliamentary elections. The protest, one of the largest in recent Serbian history, reflects mounting frustration with Vučić's long-standing rule and the broader state of democracy in the country. The demonstration was the culmination of months of escalating unrest across Serbia. What began as student-led protests and university sit-ins has evolved into a nationwide movement backed by a coalition of opposition parties, civil society groups, teachers, legal professionals, and ordinary citizens. Protesters accuse Vučić's government of authoritarian practices, including the erosion of press freedoms, political intimidation, and a lack of transparency in governance. Police were out in full force throughout the capital on Saturday. Riot units and heavily armed officers were positioned around sensitive government buildings, including the Serbian parliament and key ministries. Authorities also ringed Pionirski Park with security forces, where a simultaneous rally in support of Vučić was taking place. His supporters were reportedly bussed in from various regions to project an image of nationwide loyalty to the embattled president. Vučić, who has served as either prime minister or president since 2012, faces growing pressure from both domestic and international observers to address concerns over democratic backsliding. Although his second presidential term officially runs until 2027, protesters say they can no longer wait for regularly scheduled elections. They argue that the current government has lost all legitimacy due to what they describe as entrenched corruption, links to organized crime, and the use of state institutions to silence dissent. Opposition leaders and activists claim that Vučić's Serbian Progressive Party, SNS, has rigged the political playing field, consolidating control over the judiciary, media outlets, and law enforcement. They also allege that political rivals have faced harassment, threats, and in some cases, physical violence, all of which the government categorically denies. Despite the growing intensity of the protests, organizers stress that their movement is peaceful and democratic in nature. They have pledged not to resort to violence but have issued a clear ultimatum: the government must commit to holding snap elections, or they will escalate their campaign of civil disobedience in the days ahead. President Vučić, however, has remained defiant. In public statements, he has dismissed calls for early elections as politically motivated and influenced by foreign interests. He maintains that his party still enjoys broad public support, pointing to the SNS-led coalition's commanding majority in the National Assembly, where it currently holds 156 of 250 seats. The impasse between the government and protesters highlights Serbia's deepening political divide. As public unrest grows, so does the uncertainty surrounding the country's democratic future. For many young Serbians, particularly those leading the protests, the current movement represents more than just a political crisis. It is a defining struggle for the soul of the nation.